is Kimmy. The purpose of Worth the War is to prepare you to love well and avoid abuse. If you think we can do a better job with love and relationship than we're doing in the modern culture, you've found the right place. Today we're going to talk about healthy love, cell phones, and real solutions. We're going to look at how they affect our relationships, especially our dating relationships and our committed relationships. And we're going to look at some solutions on how you can find middle ground to make the cell phone a healthier part of your lives. Let's dig right in. Cell phones can actually be a small window into the person that you're either considering dating or possibly already committed to. We know from a University of Chicago study that I'll cite below that cell phones have been researched to be as addictive as cocaine to certain personalities. If somebody that you're with is really struggling putting their phone down, you may be looking at someone who does have an addictive personality. Now, we don't want to blow this up to mean that means that they'll be addicted to other things or more dangerous things, but it's an important thing to know, and you may see it in video game usage, you may see it in foods or other things, that there might be a strain of an addictive personality there. So at that point, you can step back and say, I don't see an addictive strain here. There might be something else going on. So one thing you can consider is this person lacking self-control? Are they unable to leave their phone in the car when they come and spend time with you? Is it impossible for them to turn it off and leave it alone? A lack of self-control has big ramifications in other areas of your relationship. So test that out and make sure that's not the issue that you're looking at. Another reason someone may not want to turn off their phone or lay it down, they may have FOMO, the fear of missing out. We throw that around like it's light, but we know from studies that being present, enjoying who you are, where you are, who you're with, is actually a high indicator of life satisfaction. If somebody can't stop focusing on what everybody else is doing and really wanting to be there, pretty important for you to know that too. So the last thing that we're going to discuss that may make it harder for someone to set their cell phone aside, one of the ways that we show that someone matters to us is by giving them our undivided attention. When we're on our phone, when we're focused on something else, we're basically saying this is more important than you. And that's how it feels to us. If they don't understand that, then tell them how that feels. Maybe they don't feel the same way, but if it feels that way to you, go ahead and share that with them. But if you tell them that and they still don't make those changes, you may have somebody who just doesn't care. So let's move into solutions. Down below in the notes, there's an article in the Muse, and the author gives us some really solid reasons why we should be ready to lay down our cell phones to work on our relationships. Number one, they're going to get to know you better by being face-to-face, by seeing their body language, and by really being able to carry out conversations to their beginning, middle, and end. You're going to get to know them better. Secondly, you're going to be able to enjoy your time with them more. When somebody is speaking value to you and you're enjoying that time and they're actually getting to know you, it's a lot more fun. And the third one is it makes you more trustworthy. If you're willing to wait for someone to form their thoughts, to have full conversations, and to actually not constantly be competing with your screen time that is basically your agenda that you're making them fit into, if you do that, you're going to be more trustworthy to that person. So now we know why it's a problem. Now we know some ways that it'll get better if we fix it, but how do we fix it? So here's our action plan. Number one, you need to sit down and decide, is this a problem in your relationship? Or if you're just starting to get to know somebody, you need to decide for yourself, is this going to be a problem even in the dating relationship? So the second thing that you need to really figure out is how much of your cell phone usage is a need and how much of it's a want. If you have a job that if someone doesn't reach you for 15 minutes, that you could have a life be lost or a business deal be broken, then you have a need to have your cell phone accessible. But that doesn't mean that we have to mix that up with what our wants are. We may need to be able to have our boss reach us, but maybe we don't have to see the latest tweet or a text from a friend. So we divide out what needs and wants are, and then we set up our expectations according to that. So the third thing that you want to come to an agreement on and make decisions for yourself on as well is what is healthy when it comes to cell phone usage. If you are unable to focus on anything for more than a few minutes or even an hour without pulling out your cell phone to check what's going on in the virtual world, you may be struggling with something that's unhealthy. If you can't sit down with a family and have dinner without pulling out your cell phone when it gets a little bit quiet or people aren't talking about something you care about, that's probably a problem. What is healthy cell phone usage? Well, a cell phone should be something that serves us. We shouldn't be setting up our life to serve it. So if we're going to set up our lives where the cell phone is something that adds to our lives and is not the focus of our lives, the last thing we have to remember is that there's going to be exceptions to this. There will be times when we're waiting for a phone call from a doctor, or we have a business deal that's about ready to blow and we need to absolutely be ready for that. The key to it is our heart attitude and how we treat the person in our lives or the people in our lives with it. We let them know we're waiting for this phone call. It's important. It's an exception. We're not always going to be doing this. You are my priority. This is just something that I have to do right now. And hopefully it'll be very few and far between the times that you have to use that. So like any good, healthy relationship, it's going to be about you communicating the value that they are to you and the fact that this is an exception to what you want to be the rule. Lastly, and very importantly, we need to remember that when it comes to cell phones and love and relationship, they can be a door to unfaithful people. If we're in a relationship with somebody, it's not a bad idea to share passwords and share access to each other's social media accounts. It holds us accountable, and we should be doing nothing that would create a problem if we did. If you're with someone who doesn't want to share those things with you or isn't willing to let you look through their phone and see what accounts they have and how they're responding to them, that should be a red flag to you. There really are no legitimate reasons that you can't share those things with people, and if they don't, you need to really think about why. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you've gotten something out of this that you can use and share. Please consider pressing the subscribe button if you're not already on this journey with us. We are making a difference in people's lives when it comes to love and relationship, and we would love to have you join us. Thank you for being here and have a great rest of your week.